So we're 2 Halloween 2s down.
Yeah.
Years later, Blumhouse is like, I want to do Halloween again.
David Gordon Green
and Danny McBride.
Danny McBride are like, we're gonna make
Still blows
the best
my mind.
They're like, you know what?
Halloween movie
We
you've
want to
ever seen."
do a Halloween sequel.
We're gonna fix this.
And it's like, cool. Okay, you're going to do a Halloween sequel. Ignore the remakes. Yeah. And they're like, Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back. It's like, well, she died. However, she was apparently dead in part 4. So that's not going to stop them.
Yeah. Well,
And I didn't know how to feel about it when they announced it. I wasn't really excited.
it was always a direct sequel to the first one. That's how they announced it.
No. But before they said that, I just knew a movie was being made.
Okay.
And remember they did that photo shoot where she's wearing the outfit and it's like the young.
Right.
I think so,
yeah.
For
So-
Entertainment Weekly or something like that.
Yeah. So I remember being like, what? I'm like, okay. At this point, I don't care.
Well,
The Rob Zombie movies kind of like broke me to a point
Sure.
where I'm like, they can, because people complain about me not hating kills enough. I'm like, yeah, but that all the rage left me. And I'm like, whatever.
I'm more pissed off that I lost 2 hours. That I could have watched something else.
Yeah, but it's fun schlock.
Question mark.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'll see what it is. And then I hear it's a direct sequel to the first one. I'm like, all right, well, we're doing this again. We're doing the ignoring sequels thing again.
We're gonna get it right this time, Tony.
But yeah, that actually got me interested. Because I'm like, okay, I mean, this is before soft reboots and legacy sequels. Now I'm burnt out on them.
Yeah.
Fucking Afterlife. I'm done. I'm gonna watch this Halloween trilogy and then I'm done with legacy sequels.
Do you just make a point to bring that fucking movie up every time we're on the show?
I actually haven't done it in a really long time.
Yeah, the last time we were
and you're not
fucking on
getting
it.
it.
Okay, well, like Star Wars, shit like that.
Okay,
Shit like that.
fine.
I'm done.
And
Ash vs.
Ghostbusters.
Evil Dead, this current Halloween series, and then I'm done. So yeah, I got excited for it, and then I went to see it. I did a full review on Rental Reviews. I even have a commentary track for this movie. I really enjoy this movie. I like they took because they reference the sequels a little bit. They take what works, and it's like, okay, people really like Jamie Lee Curtis coming back and facing her demons, but now we can get rid of the stupid brother shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God.
I like how they do it too, where they're just like, oh, that was just a.
Yeah, I
was
really
just
like
a
that
rumor.
reference. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it has winks and nods to the other sequels,
Halloween
like
3 masks.
like how does Michael get his outfit again? It's like, well, he just stumbles upon a gas station. It's like, oh, okay.
I mean, there's a little bit more to it than that, but yeah.
But yeah, I remember watching it in theaters, and I really, really enjoyed it. I really like this movie.
The third act, there's some stuff in the third act that I'm like, but overall, as a direct sequel to the first movie, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like that. This is my favorite Michael since the first one.
Agreed. Who's it? Jude
James Jude Courtney?
James
Yeah.
Jude Courtney.
Because
One
I
of those
like
3 fucking named people again.
Because again, I like that this Michael in these movies, maybe in the next one, he cares a little bit because of how much shit she's been giving him.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about Laurie. Like, he's just like, that was a young girl I tried to kill, didn't work out.
He's just
I love when he like finally gets everything back. He goes in. Yeah. So he's been in jail for 40 years.
Right.
Yeah.
They caught him. You know, it's funny. They were going to film the flashback for that movie. And John Carpenter was like, nah, your audience will catch on. You can just mention it. And then when they did Halloween Kills, they were like, well, we have that scene written and we got to pad some time. Let's do those
Let me tell you
flashbacks.
something. That's the best part of that movie.
So it's implied that he got captured. Loomis, they say Loomis tried to kill him and they stopped him.
Yeah.
And he's been in Smith Grove's sanitarium ever since, but now he's going to be relocated to a cheaper one because it's just too expensive to keep him there. They're like, well, they're like, there's nothing we can learn from him. He doesn't do shit. Just send him to a cheaper place.
So fucking nuke him.
Yeah.
His meals are really expensive. He give him steaks, protein bars, and stuff.
Real quick. Chicago does not have the death penalty, or Illinois does not have the death penalty.
But they have Blue Chew.
They have Blue Chew. But because I remember me and James did a video on like how we would do like a Halloween H40.
Yeah.
And I came up with a really great way to explain how Laurie Strode survived Halloween Resurrection. You want to hear it?
Sure.
We never mention it.
Oh, that's good.
We do the Halloween 4 thing. We just don't mention
Sure,
it.
there you go.
Okay.
But my plot was like they caught Michael and then Laurie petitions to bring back the death penalty in Illinois. And then when she goes to the prison, the power goes out and all the prisoners of death row are now after her, including Michael Myers.
Oh my God. And he's like killing them too.
Yeah, that was a pretty good plot line I came up with there.
I could see that working.
But anyway. So Michael gets out again on the day before Halloween. Yeah, and I love he just goes right to town, and he's just like, back to my old tricks. Gonna stop by my sister's grave. Not gonna pick up the tombstone this time because I'm a gentleman in the 60s.
Well, according to Rob Zombies, it's a half a ton, so I don't blame him.
This feels so good. This whole sequence of him coming back and going to the different houses and stuff. It's fucking awesome.
I like the douchey podcast reporters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're great.
I like the girl. That girl's cute. She's got to be in more things.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. I love when they go to Jamie Lee Curtis's house and they show how much of a wreck she is.
Yeah.
So they kept the alcohol thing from H2O.
Yeah.
But you find out she had like failed marriages.
Oh,
the
yeah.
state took her daughter away.
What were you saying? Because her dad was a real estate agent. That's
Yeah,
how she
I
got that
remember.
fucking
I
house.
remember watching. I'm like, so she's like a mess of a person, and it doesn't look like she has a job. How does she have this nice big house? Like, oh, her dad probably left her his real estate business.
She evicted somebody from that fucking cabin.
Yeah, he probably gave her the cabin. He's like, oh my God, my daughter's a mess. Here's the cabin property. You can have it.
She's got a lot of money to like beef this place up.
She probably has Strode Realty or owns part of it.
maybe.
Like, yeah, I think it's one of those.
Put
Like,
all the money into canned food and shotguns.
yes.
I mean, it's also she's like pretty old at this point, so
Yeah.
maybe she's just fucking retired. Who knows?
Yeah.
She's a hermit.
But yeah, I like the whole thing with her family. I love that Toby Huss is the dad.
But
I
that's-
love Toby Huss.
It's the dynamic of the family is really well written
Yeah,
too.
I do like Karen. She's like, my mom drove me nuts. I am not.
Yeah.
I'm not like her again. I forgot to ask. When did you guys see this? You saw it in theaters.
I saw it in theaters.
You
when
were
it
also
came
in
out,
theaters.
yeah.
Okay. And as I watched it the last few years, I'm like, I really appreciate this movie. I think it did really, really well. Michael is scary again.
Oh, he is really scary.
Although they do realize they wrote themselves in a corner. They're like, wait, all right, so if we're just doing regular Michael, he doesn't care about Laurie, how are we going to get him to the compound? They're like, well,
I like that.
since we're referencing the sequels, like, what if the head of the hospital was a bad guy, like in part
actually,
6?
I take that back. I hate that. But
Yeah, I hate that. That face turn comes so fucking late.
Heel
and
turn.
it's like face
yeah,
turn.
that's a heel turn.
Heel turn.
Face turn is when you turn into a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Wrestling
Oh,
terminology.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon's going to sue
And
somebody.
it's called
He's already getting sued.
Joe, it's called an about face.
Oh, okay, excuse me.
Like Blue Meanie was on this show.
Does a
Could you show some fucking respect?
does a fucking 180, okay?
Okay.
And he's like, oh, I'm like Loomis. I almost look exactly like him, but I want to be Michael Myers.
That
And he
was-
puts the mask on and shit. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Weird.
that's kind of fun. Like, look, it's a fine idea, but it's so late in the movie. You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but it obviously explains how the bus crashed. It's not because Michael got it. This guy has this fucking
Sure.
pocket
Yeah.
knife. He clearly
Sure.
did something.
Yeah.
They don't ever tell you.
Yeah.
And I like the idea. Like, I feel like they're trying to, like, fuck with you. They're, like, trying to, subvert expectations.
She literally says you're the new Loomis.
Yeah.
Right.
To trick you. Yeah.
You're the new Loomis.
Well, yeah, but he's literally facilitating Michael getting out so that he can be.
Yeah.
Right, well, because he
Loomis.
wants to see what happens to Michael when he's
Yeah.
let free, see
Yeah,
what
yeah.
he does.
Yeah.
And I love how Michael just immediately kills him.
I like Will Patton in it.
Beautiful.
Will Patton as the cop is pretty good.
He's great. Oh,
Look.
that was more shocking to me, honestly,
Yeah.
than the guy being
Listen,
evil. Was
yeah,
that he takes
well-
out the cop?
Listen,
Yeah.
Will Patton, I forgive you for being in Roadhouse 2.
But that's a good subvertive.
I'm still
That part, yeah.
I'm not done.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm still disappointed that you took part in Roadhouse 2, and I expect an apology. But I want you to know I will give you forgiveness because you did a good job in this movie. And I started listening to the audiobook of Dr. Sleep. I didn't finish, but you're good at narrating that book. Anyway,
Expect a very nicely written letter from him.
dear Tony, thank you.
Dear Tony, thank you.
I was in a
Since-
dark place when I did Roadhouse 2.
Since we're talking about actors in sequels that we'd like to apologize to, Dan Aykroyd, Caddyshack 2 shouldn't have happened. I'm sorry that you had to do that.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd's got a lot to apologize for.
One of the many things.
But anyway, I do like the confrontation at the end, but I like some of the killing Michael does. I love that whole like Halloween 2 type montage where he's just going into houses.
That's what I was saying before. Like, I love that shot.
Yeah.
Like, all
and
of
it
that
is,
feels great.
It is funny now watching this because this movie is very self-contained.
Yeah.
But it is funny now knowing the stuff they left in for a sequel. So like Michael sees the nurse and doctor couple and they come back in the next one. One of the crazy guys in the insane asylum is like a big part of the next one.
Is that, the Oswald Cobblepot, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's really cool. Love the scares. It actually is kind of scary at some
It
point.
has tension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand the need to be like, we got to ramp up these fucking kills.
Yeah.
Like, I get that, but like,
The-
also like super egregious sometimes.
The
Like fucking
heads-
teeth with the thing coming.
That was
out.
cool.
like that.
That was cool. The
I think
head
the head stop
The
too
head
much.
stop is because in my mind I'm like, all right, we're back to Michael is just a regular guy.
Yeah.
Sure, he's hard. Like you could survive the events of the first Halloween. You're gonna be out of commission for 40 years, which
don't-
they
Yeah.
do.
Well, he shot him 7 times.
Yeah, and he was stabbed and poked and
Yeah,
stabbed.
yeah.
So I can imagine like a Michael getting up from that and then collapsing shortly afterwards.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, he's just kind of like a regular dude, and this is gonna be a one-off. But then he did like crush the doctor's head with his
Yeah.
foot. I'm like, that's a little over the line. It's a little over the line.
That and the doctor stuff are the two things I don't like about this movie
Yeah.
because I've already basically said that I don't like how he's super powerful in the
Yeah.
series in general. But yeah, otherwise I think he's pretty fucking badass.
But I do love when he gets to Laurie's compound. That whole stalking scene is
pretty
really
much
good.
from when he kills the doctor on is great because like I even love the scene with the other cops.
Oh,
Like, at first
yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
oh, how do they not know what's going on? But when they get close, you're like, oh, it's because it's behind the SUV. I thought
Yeah.
that was clever.
The
Do you
whole
think-
confrontation, like in the house.
yeah. Do you think that those cops were a reference to the goofy cops from Halloween 5?
Oh, with the pudding
the
and the
clown?
brownie and all that.
But remember the cops in Halloween 5? There were two cops. They were accompanied with clown music.
Doesn't shock me that.
Do you not remember that? The cops are like, "Oh yeah, we're cops, and it's our job. We love it." And the music goes like,
No,
I just remember
I'm 100% good on that.
I forget if it was 5 or 6, but there's totally a scene where there's like a cop with a shotgun in the room protecting whatever character, and it's
4.
like Michael busts in and this guy just doesn't do anything and gets killed. And it's like
That's
yeah,
4.
that's about right.
Yeah.
When he comes.
That's
out
where
of the-
clown music should have played.
Yeah. When they're up on the fucking staircase.
Yeah.
To be fair, with Halloween 5, that is a year after the entire sheriff's department was murdered, so they probably didn't recruit the best people to replace them. But yeah, Halloween 2018, I love the fight at the end.
Yeah.
The stalking. Like, I showed my mom this movie for the first time, and she was like on the edge of her seat for the ending.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
like, man, that's real tense.
It's really well put together. It's
Yeah.
the best Halloween movie, I think, since the first one.
I know that's
easy.
a little premature, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that. I love the trap at the end. And I'm like, man, how like that's a good ending. So I like that they wrote it. They always intended to do a sequel. I don't think they intended to do 2 sequels, but they were like, you know what? Let's if it doesn't work out, let's shoot this one to be self-contained. So that's why I'm not too mad with Kills. And even if ends up sucking, I'll be like, you know what? 2018 is self-contained enough that could just be the end of the
Yeah.
I agree. It should have just been this one movie.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, obviously they're not going to.
No, I know.
And of course they're going to remake it again down the line.
Yeah, but to do a trilogy from there. I mean, Kills is.
Again, my idea was that
Did
they
you
had
see it yet?
No,
No.
we already said I hadn't.
Yeah,
By the
my-
time this is out, I
Well,
probably will,
I keep
but
saying with
I
Kills,
don't
they
care.
had an idea for 2 movies, not 3, and I think they had to do a lot of padding for the second
A
one.
lot.
But it is
Well, like
pretty-
she's like, from what I know, like it's similar to the original 2, where she's like in the hospital for most of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, the main character is in the hospital for
Yeah.
most of the time. And my problem going forward from that is that the Halloween Ends is going to take like place like 4 years after that.
yeah.
The fuck are you talking about?
Well, they couldn't do Halloween during the COVID Halloween. No one would have been out.
Yeah, Michael's walking around.
I
with
joked
empty
about that in
face.
Halloween Kills. I'm like,
Yeah, but like she was like a crazy hermit all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and now she's like back in action. And in that new trailer, she's like, everything's fine. I love my family. Michael's dead. I don't know.
there's
Maybe.
an
I haven't
imposter
watched the
Michael,
trailer.
apparently.
Yeah, that was the spoilers I was talking about.
Or that's like a shot that's reversed. I don't know. Because they show like his fingers are back, but then they show that he's missing. So it's either they reversed the shot for
That's
a
also
trailer,
a trailer. They like
or
to
there's
fuck with
there's
you.
been
I read
they've
a
had a
bunch of
couple
spoilers.
fake out imposters in previous ones.
Yeah.
So
I read a bunch of spoilers, and I'm just like,
Don't
that's
spoil it
That's
for
the
me.
best you got,
anyway, yeah, a real solid film.
for sure.
Wouldn't expect 2 comedic guys to do it, but they did really well.
that's
I mean, the other what's his face, Todd Phillips was a comedic director, and now he's doing Joker and shit. So
Yeah.
there's this switch.
I feel like in order to the good comedies, in order to write good comedies, you have to be a good writer in
Yeah.
general. And I think when you apply that to a horror movie and you do less, I mean, there are some jokes in the movie. Look who's writing it.
Yeah.
But it's also they have strong characters in it too. So it works.
Yeah.
I love, just speaking of the jokes, besides that scene with those two cops with the sandwiches and the pudding,
Yeah.
I like the interaction. I think her name's Amy, the babysitter and the little boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
funny.
great. He's like, we're gonna have some Alakazam. He's like, I know you're talking about weed. She's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you. He's like, I'm gonna tell my mom. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna tell your mom about your search history. And he's like, no, you won't.
I love that he runs out. He's like, don't go upstairs. You're going to die. And he just leaves him.
Smart kid. And
Yeah.
then you see, well, that guy didn't make it.
That girl was in that movie I just watched, Fall, about the girls who get caught up in the tower. And her boyfriend, this made me happy. Her boyfriend in the X-Files season 11, he's the grown-up Mulder and Scully baby, and he sucks. Mulder and Scully's baby ruined that show, and then when they brought him back as like an 18-year-old in the last season, he sucked and ruined that too.
That's what you're saying, ruined X-Files. It wasn't the fact that fucking
I mean, there were a lot.
company left the show.
There was a lot that ruined it, but I hated that baby, and then the fact that they brought the baby back as like a teenager, and he also sucks. So seeing Michael Myers kill him.
Ageist?
Yes. What's her face? Allison, the granddaughter.
Okay.
Is it weird that she calls Jamie Lee Curtis grandmother?
Grandmother?
Not grandma, not
I mean, I
mama.
guess some people do.
Just grandmother.
People have different names. Nana.
Mimi.
I call my grandmother her actual name, and that bothers people.
What if she called her Jamie Lee Curtis?
That'd be pretty funny. You know what? So my sister had 2 babies
Yes.
recently at the same time. Twins.
I was gonna say that's how twins work, Tony.
That is how they work.
Are they psychically linked?
We'll find
might
out.
be.
We'll find out. And they're like, what's your name going to be? Like, I'm going to be mama. I'm going to be grandma, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, as soon as these kids learn to talk, I'm just be like, hey, you can call my mom Donna. She's cool with it. I'm just going to make them like me and my grandmother. I'm like, hey, what's up, Ann? Yes. So here we are. Best Halloween Part 2.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.